So we're going to talk about Donna Adelson's witness list. Now, there's 58 names I have here so far. Again, those can change because they're dropping people off the list all the time and adding people. But I wanted to go a little more deeper into who everybody was, just in case anyone did not know every single person.
And this is the prosecutor's list, not the defense list.
That's correct. And
right, they didn't put it out yet.
Some I will talk a little bit more about than others, but I'll blow through these. Okay. So Brittany Adams is the investigator with the state attorney's office who helped build the case. She'll explain how the key evidence was gathered and how Donna Adelson was tied to the plot. So she's, we don't know any more than that about her. Second one is Charlie Adelson. Okay. Obviously there's talks about like him possibly pleading the fifth or not showing up at all or not finding a way out. Is that what you think? You don't think he's going to testify?
Yeah. I don't think so. And not because it's against his mother. I think it's more or less because he already filed for what's up when you're going against your what do you call it?
He waived what do you mean? The fact that they had the conflict of interest for the attorneys?
No. Yeah, no. I can't believe I forgot the name of it. But when he's committed guilty, but he's filing to have it overturned. What do you call that again? Starts
when you
have
appeal?
Yeah,
an appeal.
So I think because his appeal is underway is the reason why he's not going to testify.
I see what you're saying. Okay, that's very valid. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to want to mess with that unless this teensy little chance that he could get sick and tired of being in jail and somehow flip on her in some way or make a deal. Now, can he?
He's going to do it.
You don't. Okay. Well, most people don't think he's going to do it, but if he does testify, he could directly implicate his mother in the planning of the death, and that would be what he would have to say, right? So, and also his sister. He could say something about his sister.
I was going to say that. I was going to say if he does throw his mom on the bus, he's going to throw Wendy on the bus.
Yeah, because guess what? Guess who's sitting pretty and not having to deal with it? One of the things, and maybe you caught it, that I spoke a lot about the last 2 weeks, is the fact that she didn't go visit anybody. Now, hold on. I know what you're going to say. Her lawyer told her not to. You're going to say her lawyer told her not to. Okay, but if my dear old mother, maybe not Charlie so much, but if my dear old mother is in her 70s and 80s and she's down to her last days, right? I mean, anything can happen to your mother. When your mother's in her 70s or 80s, you just never know, right? You never know when her time will come. Here she is sitting in prison, okay? If an attorney told me, don't talk to them, I would say, okay, I won't talk to them about the case, but there's nothing you're going to say or do to keep me from visiting my mother. And I feel very strongly about that the fact that she didn't even go visit her family at all is crazy. Just crazy.
I think my theory is that I really don't think she knew about the actual plot going to happen. I don't think she was part of the planning. Mm-hmm. And I think once she found out that Charlie, because she didn't talk to her parents even before Charlie's trial, right? Or even during Charlie's trial, I think she stopped talking to her mom.
They did have conversations they did have some conversations on the phone, and then it ended up turning into an email saying, basically Donna pleading with her, what's going on? Why aren't you, talking to us? But then as soon as Charlie's trial happened, it got real quiet.
Right. So maybe she's realizing her parent, her mom and her father and her brother were part of this plan. They really are guilty. So why would she, maybe that's why she's separating herself, because she's really mad at them. Like maybe she's really upset that they went ahead and killed her ex-husband.
But it's your mother. That's your mother. She gave birth to you. You're not going to go visit your mother?
That. Well, is it not valid that she would be pissed off that they killed her ex-husband? That
she wasn't pissed.
They took away my kid's father. And
this is going to turn into a debate.
That's not valid. That's not valid that she could be upset at them so much that she's so mad that she doesn't want to support them in any way.
Can I unleash the dragon now? Well, here's the thing. Remember her being on the stand and Georgia Kappelman said to her, hey, listen, Wendy, well, she didn't say it like that, but she said, aren't you mad? Well, I just found out about it today, she said. Like, I just learned this morning. And why aren't you mad? I mean, she didn't even show any anger. Do you know what I'm saying? So it kind of contradicts what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
Not really. I mean, maybe she was still like apprehensive. Like she might have found out about it, but maybe she wasn't really believing it. But now that he's actually found guilty, maybe she believes it now.
I would still visit my mom. I would still visit my mom because you know what? She's deteriorating in jail and she might be dead tomorrow. I would still go visit my mom. And I would at least go to my mom and see if I could find out, like, if Wendy's innocent, let's say Wendy's innocent, okay? Let's just say it, but she's not. But let's say she is. And she goes to visit her mother in jail. I would at least, I know I wouldn't talk details about the case, but I'd at least be like, can you give me anything to tell me why the heck you're here? I would at least go there and be like, what's going on? Can I help you in any way? Are you involved in this? Why? How about a just simple, why did this happen? And then that's it. Don't discuss anything else.
That, first of all, it would never stop at that point. Obviously, they would discuss more. And why would she go to her mom and say, why'd you do this? Because that's just saying that that's just opening up a door for her mom to make excuses, to deny it. And maybe she really believes that they did it. And she doesn't want, she just wants to cut ties in that sense. Like they killed her ex-husband.
Okay, well, she has the freedom to ask what she wants to ask. There's a big piece of glass in between her and mommy. If she goes to visit her, she can just get up and walk out. She can just get up and walk out yeah. How many people do we know go and visit the killer of their child just to find out why? And they just ask one or two questions, they get the answer they need and walk out. What's the difference?
I think she knows why. They did it because
she's in on it. That's why she knows.
No, listen, if she was in on it, then why wouldn't Donna or Charles throw it to the curb? Because she wasn't in on it.
No. You know why they're not throwing her to the curb? Everybody back me on this one because everybody knows what I'm about to say. They're not throwing her under the bus because of those two kids. And Donna specifically. Like, I believe wholeheartedly that while they were in the planning of this, they said, under no circumstances, even if we're caught, are we to remove Wendy from those boys' lives. That's what there's no way. And if Donna was dead, Charlie might flip. But Donna, as long as Donna's alive, but I'm not so sure about that now, too, because I think he's mad at his mother. I think he's mad at his mother now because he's sitting over there rotting. Look, nobody's having a good time over there in the Leon County Jail. And they're all like, all right, I'm ready to come out. Okay, so we'll move on. I don't want to we're going to have a Wendy debate part 2 if you guys want us to. But I'm still waiting to hear if anybody really wants us to do that. Because me and her, we really go at it. And I know it annoyed some people in the part 1. So we'll see. Okay. So Robert Adelson. Okay, guys, before I say anything about Robert Adelson, it's still up in the air if this is true or not. There are wiretaps. Recently, it was talked about that apparently Harvey and Donna are on wiretaps talking about, and the words used are harming Robert, harming their son Robert. Some people have gone to another level and said they wanted to take a hit out on Robert. We really don't know the truth, but I'll tell you right now, I cannot wait. If those exist, I cannot wait to hear them. Because imagine wanting to have your son killed.
Wasn't it to harm the daughter-in-law? You sure it was for Rob and not the daughter-in-law?
No, it was for Robert and Katie too, by the way. Katie was also discussed about having some sort of arrangement to have her taken out as well. But the Robert one really breaks my heart because that's their own firstborn son. And if that's true, then planning to take out Robert because they know that Donna's about to, because they're scared. Robert's going to come testify and he's on this list right here. Right here.
Right.
Where's my, yeah.
Okay.
When I go this way, it goes that way.
I know. It's the opposite.
Okay, so he's expected to provide, what would he testify to? We got to watch out for hearsay too, because some things are not going to be allowed in because they're going to be deemed as hearsay. But anyway, he can testify to the insight into the family dynamics, okay? But specifically the 70th birthday party for Harvey. because Robert went down there for those 11 days. Charlie went down and, well, Charlie already lives there, but Wendy went down for 11 days and she took the kids with her. And he was there for that entire time and the party. What did he hear when he was there? That could be.
He's going to come on the stand and he's going to testify that there was no paella.
I missed out on the paella.
No,
okay.
There was no paella. There was no paella that was ordered. That was not his gift. Because supposedly that was his gift, the paella.
Poor Donna. She went from paella to mush, like to gray matter on her tray. Okay.
Well, she's eating it.
She's got, apparently she is eating it, y'all. Here we go. She's eating it. Ready. Here you go. She's eating it.
You need a before.
Listen, she's got a comment. She can buy from the commissary, and she's got so much money. I know Harvey's giving her money for the commissary.
So why? Yes, I'm sure she's getting a lot of money in her canteen. She's like, Harvey, send me some money.
I need a Snicker. I need to buy some Snickers.
FedEx me some bagels from New York.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you're killing me. All right. So he could testify to the birthday party. Also, the family dynamics, everything that happened between him and his mother, they might not allow in. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I mean,
could they allow that in?
That he's going.
Okay. All right. Oh.
It has to be something good to have him on the stand, right? It can't be something.
For sure.
Like what I suggested.
Okay. You guys still with us? I want to answer a lot. Save your best questions for after I do the work because I want to talk to you guys. Share the channel. And okay, so next one is Wendy. Oh gosh, should we just skip Wendy? Because you and I are just gonna start fighting again. All right. Wendy. Central figure in this case. The custody battle is going to be the biggest part. All right, I'm trying to be just really mature about this and just talk about what we realistically know she definitely could testify about. She could testify about the custody battle. Donna appeared at some of those mediations with Dan. Yeah. Mediations, divorce, like the mediations and stuff. Mm-hmm. You've got the emails between her and Wendy talking about you can be a great actress and dress them in Hitler Youth uniforms and all that crap. What else can Wendy say? She's going to tell the story of her marriage like she did in the first 3 trials. The thing about Wendy is she's already been proven to have lied in those 3 trials. She has said a different thing on one and then said something else on the other. So she's a proven liar. And I really...
That was the only thing that she really lied about. Wasn't it about the drive-by, turning down Trescott? Was there more than that?
There's more. We'll save it for a Wendy one, okay? But it's huge that she lied and literally went out of her way to say the tape was someplace a mile away from where it really was. And also saying she turned on the street and then on other ones said she couldn't turn down the street. And then what's amazing about that is that in order for her to turn down the street, she also would have driven a mile. So that's it's one thing to turn around and to turn onto a street, drive 2 seconds, pull into somebody's driveway, back out and go out. But then to go a whole mile and then leave that out. I mean, please. But we won't. I know we won't battle about Wendy.
Was that the only lie that she had on?
No, she's got other lies. She's got
that
so many
she testified on all three.
Yeah, there's more. I have a list somewhere, but I don't have it in front of me right now. But there's so many. Yeah. Okay. So then we've got Sergeant Sherry Bennett, Tallahassee police officer involved in the early investigation, crime scene response, and early case development. Okay, Drina Bernhardt, she's a witness and past criminal. She's got ties to other inmates. She may have overheard key admissions from a conspirator while she was in custody. So that is Drina Bernhardt.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Then Officer Bill. She is, well, new one for me. I don't know how long she's been on the list for, but yeah, I haven't heard her before. Okay, Bill Brannon, another one you and I should stay away from because he's the officer that testifies
Right.
about seeing Wendy make the K turn and everything like
Right.
that. Okay, so he's going to come on the stand and do exactly what he did in the other trials. He's going to talk about seeing her van, coming down, her, acting strange, doing a K turn. All that. And we've got Greg
She had to do a K turn.
Yeah, she had to do a K turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but she did it in a manner. He described it in a manner like she was like in a hurry. Like she stuck out is the words he used. She stuck out to me. Like they actually stopped and like were like, okay. And they were like,
Well, she knew the van. They knew her van.
yeah, I think that was probably called into them at that point that there's an ex-wife, yeah. This is what she drives, and right. all that. And by the way, a lot of people have asked, and I'm pausing real quick. A lot of people have asked on some of my videos, does anybody know how they knew she was at Mosaic? Well, it turns out that they followed her from the K-turn. There was like, license plate, so and so and so. License plate, go after. And then somebody had tailed her and followed her to Mosaic restaurant. So interesting.
So that's why that question. I don't really think that she did the K turn weird. I think they just saw her van, knew that was a van they were keeping their eye out for. Yeah. Called it in.
Yeah.
So
and imagine
because she K turned weird.
And imagine the shock of them to see if they had the license plate in advance and then they're like, oh, well, there's Wendy, the ex-wife now. And then she's like, wait, Wendy's leaving. Wendy's driving away. What's going on, Wendy? Like, seriously, like, I mean, again, we'll save that for our Wendy debate, but.
Okay.
All right. So that's Bill Brannon. Greg Bronstein, FBI agent who helped coordinate surveillance and wiretaps. He'll explain how the federal team linked the Adelsons to the murder. Here's a new name.
He'll talk about the bump.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's the one specifically about the bump. There's a lot of FBI agents here. Okay, so there's another, it's a new one for me, but again, I don't know how long this name has been on the list, but Patricia Bird, she's a neighbor who may have seen or heard something when Dan was shot. Yes. Okay, she potentially could help confirm the getaway vehicle. And there's also, it was mentioned that there is video surveillance somehow connected to this witness, Patricia Bird. So I don't know how true that is, but, we'll have to wait and see.
Why is she valid? Because they've already convicted the killers. So why does that matter?
She must be valid in some way because why would she even be on the witness list?
Right. No, I hear you.
And like you said, if I haven't gotten to Sarah Youssef yet, she is on this list. But like Jocelyn was saying to me before, I think they took Sarah Youssef off the list. I don't think I heard anything about that, but I will say there's not much Sarah Youssef can offer because a lot of it is her hearsay.
Her opinion.
Yeah, in her opinion. Yeah. Right. But she does, you know what? I take that back. And when I get to Sarah, we'll talk about it more, but actually Sarah, I have no doubt she'll be called now because she actually went into the kitchen and heard Donna say something incriminating. So when we get to her, we'll talk about that. All right. Justin Karsten is an FBI agent who analyzed call records and digital data to track communications between conspirators and map out the hitman's route. Dr. Anthony Clark is a medical examiner who performed Dan's autopsy. He'll confirm that he was killed execution style with 2 gunshots. We knew that. Okay, Sergeant Chris Corbett. Everybody knows that name. The Cellbrite stuff. Police data analyst who traced all the cell phone activity will show how the hitman's phones pinged near the crime scene. Right. And then investigator Brock Dietz is an investigator who examined the rental car where a bullet was accidentally fired, linking the hitman to Tallahassee before the murder. Investigator Michael Dillmore. His testimony will be used to show not only digital evidence connected to the hitman, but also to highlight communications involving Donna that hint at her participation in the conspiracy. So this strengthens the overall digital trail, basically, by adding, there's multiple investigators and sergeants and things like that. Okay, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'll take a little more time with him because I find him very interesting. He testified in Charlie's trial, and he used to be Charlie's best friend or bestie.
Oh, this one? Yeah, I know. Okay.
He's the one where on the phone call, Charlie's like, I hadn't talked to him for like so many years, and all of a sudden he's made everybody believe on the stand like I was his best friend. Well, you used to be his best friend, so.
Right.
And they were in some shady business together, I heard. It could be rumor, but. So anyway.
It is rumor.
Oh, no, I don't think it's rumor, but I don't want to I want to put it out there that I might think something, but hasn't been confirmed necessarily. So he'll explain that the Adelson's family's hostility towards Dan Markel. So all the things he heard anybody from the Adelson family saying bad about Dan Markel. Right. Quote, describing, quote, nobody in the Adelson family liked Markel. He also recalls Charlie making chilling comments like, you can get away with murder if you keep your mouth shut. Now, can that be admitted on Donna's trial? If it was already part of a trial where somebody got convicted, meaning Charlie, can it be used? I don't know.
Well, why
Again, I'm not an attorney.
Why wouldn't it be? Because they're actually because
it's hearsay. It's hearsay.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff that's hearsay too, right?
True. Well, if it's for the truth. If it's for the truth, maybe, right?
Yeah, I mean, like they allowed Jeff on.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, showing Charlie's mindset. So it's for the truth of the matter. And then potential awareness of wrongdoing. Okay. So Ryan witnessed Charlie's growing paranoia. So he's going to talk about that, how crazy he was acting, especially after the bump. Because after the bump, Ryan said that he was just completely paranoid and out of his mind. Just acting really strange. Yeah.
Because that's when he really was being, what's that word?
Who, Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie. That's when he was really being...
He was being a wacko.
No, he was really getting, what's that word where they're trying to get money from him?
Extorting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So he claims he was extorted in the beginning right after the death.
Yeah.
And then the bump, they extorted him, did a mock extortion, and that's when he reacted the way anybody would react during extortion.
Okay. Sigfredo Garcia, nobody thinks he's actually going to really testify, but he's the trigger man, right? He's the one who actually shot Dan. If he testifies, he could describe who hired him and how the plot was carried out. Now, a lot of people do not think he's gonna testify.
Why
he's gonna, because he just wants nothing to do with it. Like, I just think that he's gonna plead the fifth, maybe, or. But let me tell you, if he knows more about Wendy and Donna, he's gonna be the whole case. Like he's gonna be one of the biggest witnesses, because if he gets on that stand and says, "Yeah, I knew it was Donna and I knew it was Wendy and all that stuff," I mean, that's it. That's gonna be a big deal. But of course, they're gonna say, "Well, he's a convict. Why would he's not a credible witness."
Right, but you also have to remember, why would he not say it during the other trials? Why come up with it now?
Yeah, I always wonder why he's been so quiet after the fact.
What do you mean?
Well, Louis Rivera had a reason, because he made a deal. And he made a deal because, he's only going to do like 9 more years or something. 7, no. Louis Rivera only has like 7 years left, I heard. Something like that today.
Because he got 7 years taken off.
No, he only has to serve like 7 more. He had like 17 to 19 years, I think, originally. I don't remember.
19. He got 19 and he got 7 taken off.
I could have sworn that I heard today, somebody said today that he only has like potentially only 7 more to serve. Again, I'm not positive on that, but because there's so much info, but all right, we'll move on from that. James Geiger is the neighbor, so he's going to be probably like the first witness of the day,
right?
Because he's the one who saw him, came over and found Dan and then called 911. Len Harvey, this is an interesting one. He's the gym worker at Premier Health and Fitness, and he was a friend of Dan and Wendy. He's going to testify that Wendy told him Charlie joked about hiring a hitman. Okay, and they're going to fight that as hearsay, I'm sure, but. It could be used, not for its truth, but will likely say that Wendy was to prove that Wendy was part of like a broader family conspiracy, which would make...
Who is this?
This is Len Harvey, the gym worker at Premier Health.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wonder,
that's a lot.
Does it say here, like, was he actually working the day? Because, like, Dan went to Premier Health that morning, the morning of it. It doesn't say if he was working that day. But anyway, There is another guy related to that, though, that with the daycare. I'll explain that in a second. Okay. Mary Hull is the financial investigator who tracks suspicious payments from the Adelson family to the conspirators after the murder. She's going to be a big deal because she traced 44 checks written to Magbanua by the dental practice, and they were all signed by Donna. So that is going to sink her right there. The checks are a big deal.
Which, Donna's just going to say, Charlie told me to write it out, and I just did, which we all know. There's no way she's going to... I definitely think she's going to plead and say, well, he told me to write it out, so I just did.
You think she's going to throw her son under the bus like that?
I do.
Oh, man. I hope so, because I really think that there's going to be some back and forth going on here. Oh, you're going to do that to me? How about this? Right back at you. I think that's going to go on. I think we're kind of all hoping that'll go on so that we could get to the bottom of this thing. Anyway, those checks were signed between September 2014 through May 2016, which is well after his death. Craig Isom, everybody knows Craig Isom, retired crime scene investigator now, but he documented the murder scene, collected evidence. He's the one, he traced critical surveillance video footage showing a light-colored Prius tailing Markel from his gym to his home. He played images confirming the timeline from the gym drop-off to the vehicle's escape. Identifying the hitmen in a rental, the Prius, however you say the name of that car. Right. And then confirmed investigators' reconstruction of the shooting window, which is approximately between 10:51 a.m. and 10:55 a.m. and just before the 911 call, which takes place at 11:02 a.m. Mm-hmm. Then, this guy, Oscar Jimenez, undercover FBI agent, he posed as a gang affiliate. He's the one who did the bump. He showed up, approached Donna on the street, deliver a fake extortion note demanding $5,000 to take care of Rivera, who he claimed had felt neglected as he sat in jail. You're basically taking care of Katie and taking care of Sigfredo, but you're not taking care of Rivera. Am I right on that? It's not the opposite way, right? No, I have that right. Okay. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, it's like $5,000. He should have paid it. But he acted like...
Pay the money. Right, I know.
The funny thing is, he acted... The way he acted during that extortion was, rational. But yet he got extorted, how much? $50,000 for the initial that he claims? Back when the actual...
No, it was like $100,000, and it was like 30... Wait, am I getting confused with that? Yeah, it was 100 at least.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Over 100, he just hands it over. But 5,000, he's like, absolutely not. I'm not paying you $5,000. It's doesn't make any sense.
That's really funny. That's a good point. All right, so... so this also then goes on to trigger phone calls between Donna and Charlie immediately afterwards. Okay, next is Erica Johnson, former Adelson Institute employee. She's going to testify that Katie never actually worked there, exposing the fake job. All right, this is an interesting one. What did you want to say?
What was the name? What was her name again?
Erica Johnson.
Okay.
And there's been some interviews of her on, I know STS had her on. And somebody else had her on.
Who's the lady that called Charlie to say, "Hey, the FBI is here for you"? Do you remember? I think she's being called on the list too. She worked for the Adelson.
What do you mean she called? Wait, what are you saying?
It's one of the.
Oh, she's on here. Yes, I know you're talking. She works at the Adelson Institute. Yeah, she's coming up. I've got her. But the next one I think is really, really an interesting one, and that's Tara Kawas. And she is the Catherine Magbanua's former defense attorney. Do you remember listening to some of her, the female Latino woman?
Right.
She may testify. Well, she may testify about non-privileged events or immunity offers involving Donald Adelson, but maybe even receiving payment for representing Katie. This is an idea.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
That or offering to pay.
Right. Exactly.
Proof of it. Right.
Yeah. FBI agent Brian Kendall, he monitored wiretaps, extracted data. He also intercepted between Charlie and Donna's calls following the bump. He confirmed that recorded calls included both Charlie and Donna discussing the note and referencing who was expected to pay. and quote, this statement, "the two of us," was stated on that call, which, obviously is implicating both of them, illustrating Donna's direct involvement. Brian Kendall did surveil Charlie Adelson at a Miami sushi restaurant called Matsuri Sushi Bar. And he used it as part of their undercover investigations. And it was specifically between Charlie and Harvey that was at the sushi restaurant. So that is interesting.
This is the first time Harvey's being in any part of evidence.
Yeah.
That he has anything to do with it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
JPJ, Tara Kawas. Yeah, she's Latino. Did you hear her talk? I mean, I think she's clearly Latino, Cuban, Puerto Rican. It could be, just some form of Latin American, Okay, Jeff. All right, Bill Cornegay, retired crime scene tech, helped process the scene, collected shell casings, bullet fragments, broken glass, and all other evidence out of the garage and Markel's vehicle. Okay, next one is Jeff Lacasse. Jocelyn's favorite guy, the nerdy professor, to me, probably the best witness for Wendy. Not so much maybe for Donna, but definitely my favorite top witness for Wendy. So anyway, what could he say at Donna's trial? Well, he's probably going to just tell the whole story again, anything that Wendy told him during the relationship. Wendy also told him her brother was looking into hiring the hitman. Wendy's statements to Lacasse provide insider insight also into the family's dynamics, mindset, and intentions. He does say in previous testimonies that he met Donna and that they were cold and strange towards him. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah, pretty much inner circle stuff.
I'm saying that he'll just testify about Donna's behavior towards Wendy, like how she was reacting towards Wendy, or how Wendy took emails she received. I mean, I don't even know if he knew about the emails actually.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Lacasse doesn't mention Donna by name. But his testimony will help to establish the environment and what was going on in that family. So I think it's going to be allowed in for the truth of the matter. But there'll probably be a little bit of arguing. They're going to totally try to fight that. No doubt in my mind.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. Because because if you think about it, guys, because I can hear him right now. We've heard that testimony over and over again. Jeff says, Wendy told me that Charlie was looking in to hire a hitman. He never says Donna's name. So I don't know. I think they have a good argument for that. Of course, we want it in. I would want it in. If I was a jury, I'd want to hear that. But I don't know if legally that can be allowed in. So, yeah. Hey, while you're at it, hit the sub button, guys. Give us some likes. Keep the comments coming. We're going to answer some of you in a couple of minutes. All right. So, Eric Latour, banking investigator who will link Adelson Institute payments to Magbanoa, suggesting they were murder payments disguised as a salary. So he has like some sort of, I don't know if it's a paper trail or an electronic trail, but he's got something. Okay, Ricardo Leal. I don't know much about him and I don't want to speculate, so I'm skipping him. Clarissa Libretto, longtime dental assistant who will confirm that Magbanoa was never actually employed at the Adelson practice. That might be the girl you're talking about.
Well, from what I remember from Charlie's case, when they just say that they worked for her like behind the scenes, like it was more like paperwork work.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to know anything about any planning of a murder. So they're just going to, it's just to support the fact that Katie didn't work there and it was a bunch of BS, any money she got from Donna. So,
right.
All right. John Leishman is an inmate who claims Sigfredo Garcia bragged about the murder in jail, potentially linking it back to the Adelsons. So why is he on the list? So
why is he?
No, he is on the list. So why is he on the list? He must have something that's related to Donna. So I'm imagining that when Sigfredo was telling the inmate the story, he really spilled the beans and probably said, yeah, the mother, the grandma and the wife, ex-wife wanted this guy dead. So that's what I'm assuming is coming.
I like how
Why
you
are you
just
laughing?
pinning in there.
What, Wendy?
Just pinning
The
in
Wendy.
there.
I got it. Well, Wendy, man. Like, yeah. All right. I won't go there. If you're just joining us, I think Wendy is guilty AF and Jocelyn does not. So
I don't think there's enough evidence to make her guilty.
yeah,
I'm not
there
saying
circumstantial evidence is evidence, and there's a lot of it.
I don't think all your circumstantial evidence is evidence, and I don't think the ones that are valid is enough to put her away.
Well, I'm sorry. I think you're wrong. Okay, I love you though. How many years have we been together? Like, we're best friends. We're not together. We're married to men. I just want to. I don't have people coming on thinking we're like, All right. I don't know why I said that. We've been best friends. On the other side
of that door right there.
She's in the bedroom right now. No, we've been best friends since 1980. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, and I put up with your crap. All right. Keith Leland. Okay, I like this one. It might have been on the list for a while, but I didn't know who he was. Keith Leland is a daycare worker from the daycare for the Benjamin and Lincoln. He saw Dan being followed the morning of the murder. Confirms hitmen were stalking him. So nothing really about Donna, but it just confirms that he saw a light-colored Prius following Dan's car. All right, Joanne. Yeah.
Where was he during Charlie's trial?
Maybe they just didn't, like, sometimes if you have enough people saying the same thing and you have a slam dunk on that one issue, they won't call every single person that saw a Prius. They have it on video, for crying out loud. So you know what?
Like, so why bring him now? It's so
because
weird.
They have to get it in by that motion state. Because what if they decide they want to use him later? That doesn't mean they're going to use him. It just means he's on the list and he's passing the test.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, girl.
What?
Awkward. Oh, not that one. Awkward is the least of Wendy's worries. But I wanted to say, Cheryl Girl said Wendy can totally be proven guilty. And Jared says awkward is the least of Wendy's worries. Okay. I didn't want to leave you out. All right. So Joanne Maltese, retired forensic specialist who processed the crime scenes and will provide visual and forensic details like the crime scene photographs, collected evidence. Okay, Keith McElveen is an audio expert who enhanced the incriminating Dolce Vita recording of Charlie Adelson and Catherine Magbanua. Donna's all over that recording because they're talking about it with her. Right. And they mentioned Donna. Ramzi Naber, Ramzi, Ramzi, Naber. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Former club owner at Club Fate. It's a small nightclub where Katie worked as a cocktail waitress. He's just going to prove I paid her pennies. So it's not possible that she made that kind of money from me.
Yeah, but you could make a lot of money in tips.
You don't think the owner knows what kind of money his waitresses are making? I mean, they're not strippers here. They're just cocktail waitresses. He knows what his average cocktail waitress makes. And he also knows how often she worked.
Hourly, how much he pays them.
He also knows how often she worked.
Right.
And it wasn't a lot. Not enough to, like, it was thousands of dollars here. Thousands and thousands of dollars.
I agree, but I just think he's a weird one to have on this stand. Okay. Because the fact is, you can make a lot. You can make $1,000 on the weekend easily.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Shodrick Nobles is the Tallahassee local who met with Sigfredo and Louie in Tallahassee. He arranged for like their hotel, I think. He also provided them some cocaine and also helped fix their car with that accidental gunshot in the car. What a bunch of idiots, right? Like, you're on a major, like, intense, like, you're about to kill somebody, and it's like
they were drinking, they were high.
Bunch of idiots.
They shot themselves.
Dude, man, you shot the gun in the car, like. How stupid.
I mean, the fact they even pulled it off is pretty amazing. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, pulled it off in the sense of, getting their target, which is, after going through all that.
Okay, Waldo Nunez, car rental employee. Okay, that's obvious reasons. Jason Newland, prosecutor's investigator who coordinated evidence and may testify on investigative steps that ties Donna to the plot. Okay. Dr. Jerome Obed, emergency physician. No. Jerome Obed is not an emergency physician. He is the doctor that, he's a dermatologist, right? Obed. He lived with Charlie Adelson.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So he was his
That's
roommate.
right.
You know what? What is he going to say? He lived with him.
Yeah, he
Donna
did.
probably called Charlie all the time while, the roommate knew Donna. No doubt. Because
Right.
Donna's like one of these mothers that is just like the Jewish mother that is probably
The
showed
the
up when he's sick with orange juice and like
the
ibuprofen.
OG helicopter mom. The
Yep.
OG helicopter mom for sure.
Absolutely. So yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Jerome Obed definitely knows Donna. So I wonder what he's going to say he heard. Scott Radius, Miami nightclub manager who may confirm Charlie and McManawa's social connections and their closeness and things that they said around him. Also, Danny Beth Ritchie, crime lab analyst. Don't know much about her. Louis Rivera, we all know what he's going to say. I mean, he's a big deal. He's enough on his own.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, now that I'm reading this list, she's just got no shot. Donna has no shot. I'm
Well,
sorry.
not for nothing. We all thought that P. Diddy didn't have a shot either, right? I mean,
Right. Well,
let's see what
this
the
is
defense has to say.
emails. This is the payment to Katie. Oh man, it's bad. This is bad. This is yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. FBI agent Pat Sanford tracked Donna and Charlie and helped gather the evidence that led to her arrest. Lisa Shelby, FSU professor who knew Wendy, may testify about her behavior before and after the murder and offer insight into family dynamics.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to let her say squat about Wendy. They're not. It has to be about Donna. Stuart Schlosser. What's a funny name? Schlazer? All right, Dan's friend who was on the phone with him. No, that's not his friend. This is the guy from the school that was on the phone with him during the shooting.
Oh, him. I feel bad for him. I wonder if he ever replays that in his
I
mind.
don't remember his name being Stuart Schlazer. Do I have this wrong? I thought it was somebody else. I'll get back to that. Hold that thought. Ignore I
Okay.
said that because I'm not sure of the name. Sergeant David Sims, first responder at the scene of the murder. Robert Schwartz, Geek Squad employee. He could probably, he can't testify. I mean, think about it. He can't testify to Wendy's behavior or her acting strange or anything like that. Can she? Can he?
Mm-mm.
Might
I
not
don't
be
think
allowed
so.
in.
Yeah, because it has to be about Donna, but he might testify that Donna called to make the appointment. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, but he's just a worker, right? Why would he take the call? It
Yeah.
would be somebody else that would take the call at the Geek Squad.
Mm.
Okay. Danny Chigero, former Adelson dental employee, will confirm that Magbanawa was paid for a fake job. Okay. Josh Turner, Leon County officer who assisted with surveillance and logistics during the investigation, including jail monitoring. June Umchinda. Okay, I don't want to be mean about June. I love June Umchinda. I do think she's a lovely, sweet girl, but it's like watching paint dry, listening to her testify.
Oh,
So I
really?
hope, yeah, but I love her. She's so cute. She's Charlie Adelson's ex-girlfriend, expected to share what Charlie and Donna
Oh, that
said.
one.
She's this adorable,
Yeah.
cute girl.
Yeah.
But what, it's been so many years. You could tell when June Umchinda last testified that she still kind of liked Charlie. You could see it.
Yeah.
She was like really nervous and she kept looking at him and all that. And I have a feeling that maybe now that some years have gone by and maybe some people in her life were like, wake up, June. You know what I mean? Maybe she'll come back and she'll unleash some information that he said to her, some pillow talk, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
June
It's
could be a big
possible.
deal. She could be a big deal. All right, Yaindra, Mama Stun. Yaindra Velasquez Mascaro. She is a close friend of Magbanawa. She will testify about her post-murder wealth and didn't Charlie Adelson pay for one boob?
I don't know
He
about
did
one
her,
boob.
she got
Probably
a boob
boobs.
job, and there's something about, I don't remember the details because it was so long ago that I heard about that, but something about he paid
think
for her
both
boob
boobs.
job, but he only paid for one boob. I don't know. Somebody comment on that. All right. So then we have Stephen Webster, Dan's divorce attorney. He's great. I love Stephen Webster. He testified that Dan came to him and, and remember, Stephen Webster was not a family law attorney. He didn't do divorces. Okay. But Dan seeked him out. Dan saw something in him and came to him. And obviously, Dan cannot represent himself against Wendy in these motions he was filing. But like, I love that little story about those two because it was like Dan with his experience and how intelligent he was. It was like, imagine if Dan hadn't died. This guy would have ended up being a great lawyer because he would have had Dan like mentoring him. It was like, I just think that's amazing. And it's just so sad that he's not with us anymore. But
I did hear a lot that I was listening to some podcasts, but they were saying how his students really loved him because not loved him. They really enjoyed his class because he was a very hard professor, but it's always the hard professors that really make you learn. And that's how they felt like they learned a lot in his class because he was very hard and he just pushed them to be better.
And I made a good point. Like I said during the Amy, and I know we're going off a little bit on a tangent here, but like I said during the Amy Adler video that I did, and go back and watch that, guys. But why? You know how Wendy said that Dan was like difficult and argumentative and always had to have the last word. Okay, well then why would he go and pick a lawyer, professor, sharp like Amy Adler? If he was that kind of person.
I'll tell you why.
Go ahead. Tell me why.
Because in all honesty, a guy who is, I believe that Dan was, who would be considered domineering with his wife. I think he wanted his wife to take care of the kids. And I think he didn't want her to further her career. I think he wanted her to be more of a mom to the kids than worrying about her career.
Could it be could it be that Wendy wasn't a very good lawyer? And he knew that?
Regardless of whether she was good or not, it's irrelevant. I think that he's just the type of guy who would prefer his wife to be more involved and not be on road trips promoting her book. He would want her to be home to be with the kids.
Okay. Oh, that leads me to the next thing I want to.
And Amy has her own kids, and she would be considered the stepmom, but she wouldn't be really taking care of his kids. That wouldn't happen. So I think, obviously it's different when it's kind of like this. Do you like tattoos?
No.
Okay.
You're asking me if I like tattoos? I like them on, not on me.
People, right?
On other people, they look good, but I don't want them. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I feel the same way. So I think for him, he doesn't mind if Amy's career is great because you're not my kid's mother. So I think it's the same thing. I think he wants his mother, the mother of his kids, to be more motherly, but he doesn't mind if Amy does it because Amy's not the mother of his kids. Yeah,
and Lila, it's pure speculation. I totally agree with you. We are speculating. I make no bones about that. In the beginning, I'm not an attorney, and we're not offering legal advice on this podcast. But yeah, we're speculating because it's like so hard not to. Because it's like trying to like figure out what's going on in this case. Yeah. But okay, that's a good point. But that's speculation. Yes, it is. I don't know. That is a good point. That I will say that's a good point. Now I wanted to just since we're on this subject, I wanted to mention something about the book. But go ahead. You weren't done?
No, I'm just saying. What's a good point? That it's because it's not the mom. Whose point are you talking about?
Your point about, well, maybe he didn't have the same expectations out of Amy because she wasn't the mother of his children was a good point. But everything else I don't agree with. Okay, so the book. Guys, let me address something with the book because I had people kind of jump at me about the book. Wendy said that Wendy, who's a liar, I believe, said that Dan didn't even read her book and he didn't like fiction. And I said that in the video. And I said, if that's true, that is a very unsupportive thing to do. However, I make no bones about that Dan did advertise her book on Prof Blogs and all of his social media. Dan was proud of Wendy and would tell everybody about the fact that look, my wife, he's proud of her. She wrote a book and go buy it. And I'm sure that he was telling everyone to buy it, but that doesn't mean that he actually went home and enjoyed reading it. Maybe he didn't like the book, but I don't think he was unsupportive of her in that endeavor at all. So I just want to make that clear about the book.
I think if my husband didn't read the book, I find it very heartbreaking.
I said that. I said
Yeah, I know.
that maybe he lied. Maybe he made her think. Maybe he said, I read it, because she did say it in a way like, yeah, right, you didn't read my book. I know you don't like fiction. He might have, just to save her the embarrassment and to make her feel good because he loves her, might have just said, yeah, I read it. But maybe in reality he didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, and that would hurt my feelings. And I can understand, like, well, I don't want to read the book. I don't really care for fiction, but at least I'll promote it to other people. Other people can read it. And I think that was justifiable in his eyes, whereas that's really not really supportive. Like, you should bite
All
the
right.
bullet. And I don't care if you have to listen to it, get it on Audible just to listen, but or,
All right.
or get what's that fake stuff, the speech notes or whatever.
The what?
They're like notes for books.
Oh, yeah, like Cliff Notes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cliff note it.
Or this, yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
Work at it a little bit, yeah.
All right, so I just got a few more, and then I want to take some of your comments or questions. Okay, so that was the divorce attorney. So I really like the divorce attorney, and I think he's really going to be a big deal because, he had private conversations with Dan about what was going on in the marriage, and Donna was directly involved in that because he had to tell the attorney what the mother was doing and calling him stupid to the kids and all that stuff. So he's going to have a lot of information possibly. So
she never called him stupid.
Yes, she did.
She
did.
That part.
She did call him stupid. Okay, Sean Yao, forensic supervisor, oversaw evidence collection. Okay, Sarah Youssef, I did a whole video on her. If you didn't see that, watch it. It's pretty good. Former friend of Wendy, who slowly over time and realized that she was uncomfortable in her own skin about things that went on with Wendy. And also there was an interaction with Donna where she was at a birthday party and she walked into the kitchen and Donna made derogatory comments that were just really cold and callous. And her meanwhile, it's her son-in-law, he's dead. So you don't go make comments like that. Who does that? So she's going to testify to that. And then there's Thomas Gano, Miami lawyer, approached by Donna and Charlie after the FBI bump. He may testify to their paranoia and panic over the situation. And then the last one I have 3 more. Francis Magbanua, Catherine's brother, unexplained money that she had after the murder. He could talk about, and her connection to the Adelsons. Plus, there's something about him maybe knowing or being a middle person, and this is rumor, so I want to clarify that. But I heard things about Francis Magbanua maybe being a middle person who made payment to Katie Magbanua's attorneys. So they had to find a way to get the money. So it might have happened through Francis. It might not, but I don't know for sure. Lee Pierce, forensic expert. He extracted the GPS and cell phone data. And then the last one is Marsha Rodriguez, a digital analyst who examined Wendy's devices and will also explain call records and messaging behavior. Okay, so that's the whole witness list, everybody. And I want to just take a look here at your comments. How you guys doing? I see some fighting going on here. That's not good. Sub, like, and share the channel. Give me a like. Go ahead and if you have a question for one of us specifically, go ahead and retype it. Or if you have something to say to me or Jocelyn.
Respond to that woman who put up about the grandchildren. Remember she put up like what?
Well, if you don't, I will wait for her to retype it. Wait for her to retype it then. Okay. Like if you're on here, re-ask the question because there's so many here and I scroll up. I won't be able to.
I kind of remember what she did say something like, well, if Wendy was not guilty, why would she keep the kids away from the grandparents?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think
say that again. Say that again.
So basically, I believe the question was, if Wendy was not guilty or not part of this murder, why would she keep the kids away from the grandparents?
Oh, why?
That was the question. Yeah, why we
Right.
should keep the
Okay,
kids
go
away
ahead,
from the
answer
grandparents.
it.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So
answer it.
I right. So I believe that it had honestly I don't not really had to do anything with the murders in the sense of she didn't trust them because they were trying to put them into find backup for foster care. So I understand the grandparents were doing the what if situation and but they didn't come to her about it, and they kind of did it behind her back, and she felt like they were trying to take her away, they were trying to take the kids away from Wendy, and so she felt like
Mm-hmm.
a mama bear in a sense, and she was going to
Mm-hmm.
protect them. Now the fact is that in a lot of divorces, unfortunately, the whichever side will keep the grandparents away if it's a bad divorce, and as theirs was, so it happens so often that actually there's a law that came out. It's actually called the Markle Act. It came out in 2022, and
Mm-hmm.
it's allow grandparents to see their grandchildren
Right.
if the one of the parents is deceased. So what I'm saying is that it's really so not unheard of her actions, because the fact is that thousands of the same situation happened to other people, and not all their spouses were murdered. It just could have been just the fact that it was a bad divorce, or whatever situation it came down, and plenty of people do that. So I don't think it had anything to do with the murder. I just think it had to do with the situation.
Okay. All right. So what I want to just say, but something you said about the grandparents is that, like, if I was Ruth Markel and my son not only tragically got shot, and I'm sitting over there and I'm seeing all of a sudden this domino effect of all these people going down and being arrested, and why? I mean, you're saying that they should have that Wendy would be upset that Ruth wouldn't call her first and talk to her about it. Well, I wouldn't call Wendy if I thought, like, I would legitimately think something's going on with the Adelsons. All this is going on. If I was Ruth, I wouldn't be calling Wendy at all. Why should I? Especially if, like, I'm hearing from the prosecution in Tallahassee police department that there are some, you don't think she was hearing stuff about her making the K-turn on Trescott and the bullet bourbon and all that stuff. As a mother, I would be like, I am not talking to these people at all. And all I care about is my grandkids. And the foster care thing, Wendy knew darn well that the Markells would never let those kids go into foster care for a long period of time. It was just simply in case of an emergency so that they could get on a plane and get over there. So I just want to say that. But yeah. So, all right, let me take up.
Again, there's thousands of families
Well,
that don't
yeah.
allow their grandparents to see because whatever situation that happened.
Okay.
And it's not because of murder. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
somebody's there's like a huge argument going on in the chat room. I'm not gonna, you guys fight that out, but, like, let's see, let me get another. Do you know what?
Do we have a question?
Oh, I love Jared's comment. Oh, your book has the truth? Laughing my butt off, or versus the 60 witnesses that the state has. That's great. All right, let's see.
Okay, I'm just kind of reading some of these comments.
I don't want to entertain the really sorry. I mean, I don't want to. You guys have your little fight going on there. I don't know what's going on, guys. It's fact that she left on the Monday, and Wendy herself agrees with that fact under oath. She left on the Monday?
So can I bring up a side note, since we're like...
Actually, we have a good question that's nice from Cleo. Here, let's get this one. Okay. So Cleo said, what do you think about Harvey getting a charge? I think it's going to...
Did he, though? Did he get a charge? I thought it was just Donna.
No, I didn't hear of Harvey getting anything yet. Is that new that I don't know about?
I mean, the first thing I heard about Harvey at all is just about he's going to be in this conversation that they're going to expose.
Well, there's more too. He also, has ties to people in Vietnam that they were speaking to. There's a hut, like some sort of hut, which is another word in Vietnam for a home, that Charlie was sent money that way, and Harvey was trying to get the money back. It just shows the knowledge of somebody being over there in Vietnam setting up shop for them to fly over there. So there's that. I find it really hard to believe that Harvey is not aware of a lot of things, but I do want to say this about Harvey. They do talk about on the calls about Harvey having like a heart condition or something, and they want to keep dad out of it. I do think that she wore the pants, Donna, and I think that Harvey just kind of went along with things. You do think that? But I do think eventually, by the time they were actually buying tickets to fly to Vietnam one way, he had to have known, you're getting a one-way ticket. Don't you want to ask your wife why we're not coming back? So I think at that point he knew a lot more.
Well, if anything, I think he obviously knew that. Well, listen, if my son was charged and convicted, and she's part of some of these videotapes or these recordings, backing up what the prosecutor Georgia was saying, obviously we got to jump town, which I don't understand why they would wait for the actual conviction of Charlie. Like, there's clearly at a point in that trial where you're like, oh, Charlie's definitely going down now. Like, what? There was no reason to take her. She could have bought a one-way ticket then before it came out, and they would have never stopped her. I don't know why they waited until the very end, or a day or two. Why?
How about this? You're being recorded on a call, and you're talking about fleeing the Vietnam. How stupid can you be? Like,
I know.
I don't know
which could question the fact of maybe she really wasn't part of it.
No, Jocelyn, that's not possible. All right, let's see what else we got here. Anything else, guys? I'm going to wait a little bit.
All right,
how do you justify the... What?
Oh, go ahead.
Also, if you have a statement or a question, I'm Carolyn, she's Jocelyn. Point out who you're asking it to, because on this case, we have some differing opinions. So if you have a question for somebody... Uncle Hank said, supportive of the author of a bad book is like gushing over bad karaoke. Okay.
Okay, so can I bring up my side note?
Yeah, go ahead. Bring up your side note while I'm waiting.
So I just want to say, when I was watching some of the single videos that you made, I just want to clarify to everybody that Carolyn was not
naked.
Dressed.
I had a tube top on. Okay, guys, I have a tube top on. Is it the Karma video? No, no, it's the Amy Adler video. I have a tube top on, guys.
I'm watching.
Go ahead, describe it. Describe it.
I'm watching the video. First of all, I'm listening to it while I'm working, and so I can't actually look at the video. But there was a time or two where I did look at the video, and I was like, I'm telling you, she's like this.
No, don't do that on air.
This is her. Wait. There's a time when you're like literally like this. Wait, can you see? You literally can't even see it, and you're just like talking, and I'm like, what?
Listen,
slight hue.
Listen, dude. It's Nashville. And it is like 100 degrees here. I wear tube tops. But I won't be doing that anymore because apparently at times I look like I have nothing on. So I apologize to my viewers. I don't want to offend anybody.